right, happy Wednesday to everyone. I hope you've had a fabulous week. Hope you enjoyed the Family Fund video yesterday. If you did not, take a look at that. Today we are back for session 2 of our estate planning series. And last week we covered the basics. You can refer to last week's video. If you are on Facebook, you can go to the August 7th post. If you are looking from a different platform, YouTube, LinkedIn, you can go to Money Chats with Monica C. Harris. On Facebook, it's a closed group. You can join a group, and that is the way you can tune in to the estate planning series. Last week, we used a LegalZoom video to give an explanation on the basics of estate planning. And in that video, if you want, you can fast forward to the 4th minute, and that'll get you right to that video explanation. Prior to it, of course, I'm introducing the series. We're going to fast track so that we can get as much in as possible in as little time as possible for today. So as a life insurance based estate planning conversation, we're going to cover wealth transfer. All right. So let's answer the question, should you have a trust? Right? Where a trust is a component of an estate plan. All right. Okay. So this is my paternal grandfather, and this is what today's story is going to be based on. A lot of the stories are going to be based around my own family because my history is a big inspiration behind why I'm so passionate about estate planning. So this is my paternal grandfather, and I've been told that he was a successful entrepreneur in the real estate construction and development industry. All right. And apparently up until about 1981, so not really that long ago, right? I'm only 2 generations removed, and I've never seen a financial transaction from any of his development work. The story holds that he and my paternal grandmother prepared and planned for me like most parents don't even do for the first child. I was the first grandchild. So I'm sure that it was his intention to provide for me in some shape, fashion, or form beyond his lifetime, based on what I hear about the preparations that they made, especially ensuring that his hard work and dedicated labor would somehow, some way reach me. The fruit of that would reach me. So had he established a properly structured trust, not only could he have simplified his financial life, my grandmother's financial life, but he also could have had a greater level of control over his asset management and the distribution of his assets after his sudden death, which occurred like weeks or days, possibly, I think maybe days before my birth. So in short, what I'm saying is that I think it would have been nice had my grandfather owned or created a trust, where a trust can be defined as a legal entity in which one person holds property in a fiduciary capacity for the benefit of another person. That legal entity is then separate and distinct from the person who creates the trust, which would have been my grandfather. So it's a completely different entity, not my grandfather. That legal entity needed to be separate and distinct from the person who held the legal title to the trust property and administered the trust. So it sounded like he would have had to relinquish some control over the assets that he would have put into this trust that he intended for me to benefit from. And that legal entity needed to be separate from the person who was to benefit from that trust, which for my story, I'm saying it should have been me. So we've talked about whether or not one should create a trust, and in my story, I'm saying my grandfather should have had a trust. And how a trust is defined for the sake of this conversation. The resource for those of you who are in Money Chats with Monica C. Harris, if it's not in the comments at the time that you're watching this video, it should show up in those comments shortly. On YouTube, a link possibly is in the description. If not, you need to go over to Money Chats with Monica C. Harris to get access to the reference resource that we're using for this conversation. And thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop them in the comments. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Have a wonderful week.